Welcome to my tropical garden in Sydney. I'm going to start today with my balsams. So I did my front yard 2 days ago. Yesterday I couldn't because it was raining. But just as you walk out my back door onto my porch, I've got the alleyway there. Kids going to school. I was videoing this time yesterday too. But we're going to my little germinator pot, plus with flowers. Obviously flowers are balsam, a tropical plant, tropical flower. These are the flowers it grows on there. You can see that. And then these flowers become seeds. So if you can see inside here, where are we? There. There's this little bit of green showing. I'm going to pluck the flower out. See the little bit of green? There. Yeah, that's the seed. So I've got to collect that. Also, got a couple of things coming out here. I've just done a chop and drop from my rock melon. So I threw some rock melon seeds in here and it grew, so I left it in here. We're going to just like grow it into a bush, hanging down bush in the back part of my house. I've got here soursop coming out. This has been hanging on to it for the last week, but I can see that it's making progress. So it's nearly falling off. This side's a little bit, see that? So that's two. So I'm waiting for that to grow. I've got eggplants germinating in there too, and also papaya seeds I put in there. Let's get into my helper. Hello helper, let's go do this here. Then coming on to the right hand side, I've got my little longevity plants happening here. I've got the beetle leaf plant. Indians use that in prayers. I do too. My moringa is struggling because I put a branch in here out of my mother plant, which now is taken off too. Little pepino melons, etc. happening. Then we've got pepino melons here, waiting to be sold. That's just my dump garden at the moment. It's got taro growing in it, sugarcane, and bananas. And if you can see right there, that's a banana bunch. Right there. And we've got my pumpkin that the lawnmower guy killed. I used to have two here, and I've only just got this one pumpkin hanging there. Not to worry, I have a lot of pumpkin happening. And my trellis goes all the way up to there, if you can see. All this is trellised. Waiting for the bottle gourd to come out more. Well, flower into female flowers more, because I can see a lot of male flowers. I did pick one yesterday, so if anyone's seen my previous videos, I do have photos and videos of my gourd there. Let's keep going because it's just, I'm accumulating a lot of things now. In here I've also got my pollinators. So I've got my marigold. Put some corn in here, which is taking a little while to grow because of the raised garden. It's not giving it an ample light. It's probably just giving it a lot of heat. Then also I've got behind that, if I can get this phone in there, I have papayas, more papayas growing, which I've dug up a lot of places today already. Just a little bit of dig in the ground and shove it in and it'll grow. I also have my sweet potato. This is just for the foliage now and planting if I need to plant some more. I've already got a whole heap growing. My balsams are in here too. And these big babies are left for seed. This is my ridge gourd. Two left for seed. Others are growing. Others are flowering and growing. So we've got a female here. See that? See this part? Right here. Oh, hello, Mr. B. And we've got a male growing here. See that? So I'll pick this. I'll take the leaves off, I'll show you. Just plucking the leaves out. And then just tapping in there like the bees would sit in there with the pollen. There you go. Dropping some flowers, never mind. And I'm just going to leave this in one of the leaves here so the ants can do more pollinating. Did all this the other day. They're all growing. There's one in that corner there. I had to take my squash out. It's all done and dusted. So now I've put some coriander just in the front here. And I've got 2 more plants of squash trying to grow. My apples I had to trim out because I replanted these. The leaves sort of wilted away, died out. But the tree itself is still working good for me. There's another bottle gourd here, not doing too well, doesn't matter. My other one's doing all right. And then I've got hyson bean. This is my overwinter hyson bean. You would have seen it before. And this is the new one, which is growing like here. And then growing out. So we'll just tap her in there. And it's not growing out now. You see the banana I was talking about? This is the lighter green bunch. There she is. It's early morning. It's going to be 32 degrees, so we'll get her cicadas happening soon. This is just my little shed. Got to trim out my mint. And I don't know what this herb is called. If anyone knows what this is called, please write it down for me on my comments. She's growing really well. Smells lovely. It was just a branch given to me by someone I went and purchased one of my plants from and seedlings. I've got my daruka growing here. I've got to find the English name for it, folks. Sorry, but we call it daruka. I'm sure there's like 500,000 people that at least know what daruka is for sure. This is just my junk garden at the moment. I will put like a few things in there. I don't know what yet. Another mango tree. I've trimmed the leaves off and I've stopped watering it so much. Now what's coming out as well, this is my bitter melon plant. And yes, she's doing good. I've got 1 and 2 little ones growing. So that's doing good. I've got planted my taro, so it's vacant in that section now, and the moringa's growing properly again. My wonky trellis is working quite well actually. This is empty. I've been using it for cartilage, but I have got holes in it, so I'll plant something soon. I have blueberries here, taking a bit of time, but they'll grow. I don't know if I should put it in the ground or not. If you have any good suggestions, please don't hesitate to comment. At Gina Nazia 9129. So yeah, swish some comments through, folks. Always good to get good feedback. I have a rosella growing. They're all coming out good. They're going to go into jam. With that, I've got a little zinnia happening. Beautiful flower, isn't it? Sorry, my shadow is getting it. That's my pink zinnia. I've got some balsams coming out there. I don't know if that's tomato. I think it's cherry tomatoes. A bit late in season, but doesn't matter. It's growing anyway. I've got my eggplant in here, which folks, as you know, hasn't been doing too well. Fertilizing, nourishing it, doing all the things that I need to do, but it's still being a bit silly. Though, look, this one's looking promising, but we'll see. We will see. What I did have to do, because I'm getting a lot of the bugs and the butterflies, yellow butterflies. We get a lot of that in Australia, so if you have a healthy garden, they come along, they obviously pollinate as well as lay eggs. And before you know it, you got all these little caterpillars that have eaten up your kale like this. This used to be a really nice looking kale, so what I've done now is trimmed it all off, gave it a really heavy cut, and waiting for it to rejuvenate slowly. There's a few leaves coming out in there, if you can see. It's very slow. Also, don't know what this tree is, but it keeps dropping a whole lot of rubbish onto my plants, so it's got to be trimmed again. And within the same netting structure, I have my figs. I have green figs here, and I have something imperial, I can't remember now. But now they're growing better because there's no bugs getting to them. I have some strawberries there. They haven't done too well. Replanting time. My white guava stem, dead. Another kale here, I had to heavy trim. She's coming well. My purple kale. I don't know if you can see or not. She's in there. I'll have to spread her wings out a little bit, put her in a bigger pot, another pot, or take the strawberry out, one or the other. Back here in my stash, I have neem. Neem's growing really well. Really, 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 really well. Quite happy with that. Let's keep moving. I haven't even gone to half my garden yet. We'll take a look at the neem plant from this side. There you go. This branch here is going all the way up. There. My cappies. Bell pepper. It's called bell pepper in America, I believe, but we call it just peppers or capsicum. So in Australia we've got capsicum. One grew already and rotted, but now I've got more little flowers, and one coming out here, just here. See that? Also have nasturtiums with it, and a garlic for safekeeping from the snails. This is our chili plant, jungly Fiji chilies. Let's keep moving. So that's so far we've covered that much of the garden. Plus helpers being lazy and being there. Where is she? There she is. Hey helper, Nia, come. She doesn't like this heat too much. Okay, let's keep moving. So that's about a third of my garden. Now, if you folks can see this, it goes all the way around to the... I had a pit dug up here, what we call a lava pit, but it was way too big. I could have buried bloody 6 people in it. So whoever did that did a shonky job. Thank you very much if you're watching. Thank you very much for your shonky job. But all good. I have managed to fill her up, and so the pumpkin's going wild. It's loving it because I started throwing grass in it. All the tree chops I did, I chopped lots of this tree. It used to be only tiny, and now she's grown into a big tree. But yeah, getting back to the pumpkin, there's loads of pumpkin on it. I did try and fix one up the other day, and unfortunately broke it, but Sissy came and took it yesterday and put to good use. All right, I also have, folks, asparagus. This one I have to thank my sister for because she gave me the asparagus seedling, but it's bigger than me. So this is the tip of it, right here. And look at this. Healthy or what? Sorry about this. See? Grows like that. This is probably 2 years old. Not even. So, it's doing really well. I reckon I'll be eating it by next year. Also, what coaxed me to get my phone out this morning and start videoing. Oh, okay, it's these fellas. Well, I did see this one. Cherry guava. But, look at this. More cherry guavas. Let's just pick that. Any more? This one that's not ready, so folks, my cherry guavas. Thanks to my son Kaishik, aka Chico. Chico Mars Steel. So thanks to him, today is the 10th of February and I'm having my first cherry guava from my plant. So, oh, and look, it's yummy inside too. There's no bugs in it. Hey Nia, you want some? What's this? Do you want some? Here. So good, look. She's too busy with the birds. All right, eat this and keep moving. Sorry for eating while I'm talking. I promise not to scoff it. I promise just to take little nibbles. It's all pumpkin growing. There's lots of pumpkin in there. We won't go in there today. But there's about 5 pumpkin in there that I know of that are still growing. My Fiji Bora is coming out good again. Going for round 2. Round 1 I took out all the seeds. Avocado up to the shoulders. Banana palms. Someone's child doesn't want to go to school or wants to go to school and doesn't want to go home. I have several bananas in there too. If you're following me, you'll see that I've got lots and lots of flowers. Bunches of bananas. And when I moved here, it was just a few trees, but 8 years later, it's a banana plantation. So let's keep moving, because I think I've already taken up, nearly 20 minutes. Here's another pumpkin, Croatian pumpkin. She's a growing. All my pumpkin this season I have pollinated, hand pollinated. So it grows through there, and I'll take you to the other side, which is in this little pumpkin patch there. Next to it, in pots, again, I've got a lot of pots happening now, and I find they're more suitable than a lot of things in the ground. So this is my cassava plant. I think they call it yucca as well, if I'm not mistaken. But cassava, tapioca, big staple diet in Fiji. Born in Fiji, and I love my food. I love my Fiji tropical foods. So when I said tropical garden, cherry guavas, bananas, guavas, more bananas, rosellas, moringa, neem, ginger. That's the next one. My ginger. And I think I've got 3 plants coming, or 4. So they're all coming out, slowly but surely they are coming out. Should have about 6 in there. But this little one here is my kiwi fruit, the yellow kiwi fruit that I did in the beginning of the videos when I first started doing my YouTubing. So that's the kiwi fruit, but the manna birds ate it. Please let me know, everyone that's having problems with manna birds. Now I've got my dog, I tell her there's birds out there, and she comes running. So she's being my guide, and they're not getting it yet. So I've got ginger in here too. Not much, but it's there. I'll just let it keep growing. I mentioned my pumpkin patch that snuck through the cassavas. That's this one here. And it's growing. It's growing. It's giving me a lot of pumpkin. I've already harvested 2. There's another one in there if you can see. There's a sneaky one here. It's been here for a little while. See the colouring on it? That's a Croatian one. So pretty. Told you I had more sweet potatoes growing. So this container currently is my sweet potato container. I've done a little bit of funky digging. But I'm going to put the pawpaws today. See, there's all pumpkin growing everywhere. I've also got a zucchini plant in here. Male flower, no females yet. It did give me 1 or 2 zucchinis, but that was it. My guava trees, really big, eh? And there's a banana you couldn't see properly from the other side. The bunch. You can see the little bit hiding behind the guavas. Gosh, very wobbly this morning. Sorry, folks. There. It's wobbly and it's bright, so it's hard to see. Anyway, sorry, but I can't see, so I can't see that if you can see. I'll take you through my guavas. It's a pink guava, growing very well. I have to hunt the branches that don't have fruit yet and start grafting and or air layering. So this is the pink guava. It grows about this big. It's delish. This one is a Kashmiri Indian guava. So when it's ripe, it's got speckles of red and earth red instead of the bright chili red. Okay, so let's keep moving. I did another ridge gourd, which has been giving me its flowers to pollinate the larger plants. So good idea to have a few plants in, because what I found was when my initial ridge gourd was growing male flowers, there were no females ready to be pollinated, and vice versa. When it grew a lot of females, there was not a single male flower on that particular tree vine for me to pollinate with, or the ants. So I remembered that I had put this little baby here, and as you can see, there's a flower there too. She's been giving me male flowers just there. It's growing on a dead guava tree. It's been giving me male flowers, so yoo-hoo. Tomatoes, I think I'm about ready to say bye-bye to, because the tree is growing really well, but this keeps getting damaged. So I'm getting tom-toms like this. My nutrients I tried to fix. I have fixed soil in there. So I've done a lot of things. This one's supposed to be the Roma, and I don't remember the exact name, but these ones are the giant, large ones, if you can see them. So, big tree went over my head and then down again, so it's hanging just down here. Initially I did take all the suckers out, but then I got tired of looking around for suckers. So now another good one I've got here, plant, is my chili plant. You can see There's a few red ones. There's a lot of green ones. And a lot more growing. So happy with that. I was having some difficulty with my pomegranate, but I'm thinking I can see that the leaves are uncurling. So about 4 days ago they were all curled up, so I've done some chop and drop in there. I've fertilized it again. I've put some more soil. We'll see how we go from there. If not, she's going in the ground. And my pepino melon that I've been bragging so much about, I did have to go bogan and net it. Sorry about that, because it's I find it's getting a lot of stink bugs in there, wherever they're coming from. Maybe it's because of the position I've got it in, but regardless, it's now got netting on it, insect and birds, so trying to give it a bit of space to grow, so it's a bit wonky. But this is half my garden now. There's a little bit in the middle we haven't gotten to, which we will. So let's keep moving. I have frangipani. These are the easiest plants to plant. You just dig and stick it in the ground. The lawnmower guy almost cut it off, so if you can see, I've piled on more soil for where it was clipped so that it doesn't fall over. But it has grown flowers already. It's summer in Sydney, well, last month of summer, February. So, but even our autumns are not fall in America, obviously, but our autumn in Sydney is not so bad at all. We tend to have warmer weather than we do in spring sometimes. This is a type of jasmine. You can smell it at night time when it grows. More flowers. My mulberry growing here. It was killed by the lawnmower guy, but after a good watering and TLC, it's still growing. These two are my new additions, folks. This is where I've got my Daruka. I bought in my holy basil, aka Tulsi. Constant watering, that'll redo from about a week from now. I just shoved it in there yesterday. So that'll do a lot of pollinating for me as well for these sections. But my new ones, that's that. And then I've got the taro plants in this one here. It took me about 4 or 5 bags just to get the soils up to scratch. But I've got your regular potting mix for vegetables and or plants. I have cocoa peat 20%. I have, so the regular soil is about 20%, cocoa peat 20%. I've got a lot of compost in there, and then cow manure. So I've got a whole bag and a half of cow manure. Then I've got 4 bags of compost. And that's all mixed together to give it a good fertile soil, growing soil. And so far, as soon as I put it in, and obviously the rain helps as well, but they're going well. I had bought 5, sold 2, was left with 1, 2, 3, but these 3 grew, as you can see, the little bambinos. If they stay in pots, they grow into little babies, lots of little babies. Instead of planting them together, pull them out. Yeah, it looks like you're damaging the roots, but guess what? These things are bloody resilient. So, yeah, please, give it a shot. This is my eggplant. I picked one yesterday. Oh, hello, Mr. Fantail. So I do have a lot of birds that come here. Those are the fantails. They didn't used to come into my garden, but they do now. No, that's just a dove. Mr. Dove there. There he is. Okay. Nectarine. What I noticed when I was doing this, so at the bottom I've got, right at the bottom, I started off with newspaper. I started off with cardboard and that, but same process for both. Newspaper, old dead branches, leaves. And so I broke some of this and realised it's dead, except for this. I'm talking dead, not dormant, dead. So I'll have to give it a savage trim and see what happens next season. And I haven't grown anything here yet, but if you can see, I've done some of that funny digging again. I'm going to do my pawpaw plants. And I am thinking I might just put some more all the way along here. See how they grow. Just keep moving. We're going to my apple trees here. The only baby ones, they're all growing from seed. I've got this habit that I really love to grow things from seed and then watch them grow. I've not been well. I've been at home from work. So I feel that instead of just sitting around with a bad back, it's best to keep moving, trying not to do any heavy lifting whatsoever. But I have accomplished a lot. These are my waxy corn, and even the leaves are all waxy. So this is my waxy corn, and I'm waiting for this to give me some flowers soon. Obviously my corn in front is going haywire. It's growing corn, so I'm going to get a good yield this season. I've only got about 12 odd plants in there, but it's doing good. I've got my marigold here. I had a lot of marigold this season, and I'll get a lot of seeds for next season. Fiji Bora bin. Something seems to be getting it. There's one that's growing okay. But, and I've done the cluttered planting in here, as you can see, so now I've still got that to put out. So those are the urgent ones to put out because they're growing. So I'll get that out today. But I've got to find things to put around it so my dog doesn't go jumping on it. And in here, I've got, I just pulled that out of my garden in front and popped it here. That's another mulberry plant. And there's apples growing and I don't know what else. I put avocado out yesterday again, another seed. Wish me luck. And yes then, folks, this is my tropical garden in Sydney. Trying to start a tropical garden in Sydney. Obviously all my veggies are tropical. Pumpkin, tropical definitely. I didn't show you my snake beans. There are snake beans growing here too. They were over there, if anyone remembers, but now I've moved it to here, so it only gets like the morning day sun. The afternoon sun it doesn't get. Didn't show you some kales, some chard, red chard, yellow chard growing in there. And my other mango tree, just waiting for this one to get thicker. The branch down here to get thicker so I can graft it. So yeah, thank you very much folks. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Don't be shy to comment. Have a brilliant Friday. Have a brilliant weekend. Bye-bye from Sydney. It's bye from me and it's bye from Nia. No, Nia's busy looking for lizards. Nia, say bye. See ya. No. Thank you again, folks.